pride and power, two forces that can blind even the most brilliant military minds. Today, we're exploring how Napoleon Bonaparte's ego led to one of his greatest defeats and gave birth to the world's first Black Republic.
You know what fascinates me about this story? How a single document could trigger such a massive chain of events.
Well, let's set the scene in 1801. Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti, was generating more wealth than all other French colonies combined. We're talking about millions in today's dollars from sugar, coffee, and cotton production.
Hmm. And at the center of all this was Toussaint Louverture, right? A former enslaved person who'd become so powerful that even Napoleon had to decide how to deal with him.
Exactly. Napoleon faced this crucial choice: either work with Toussaint, who'd built this incredibly effective military force, or try to crush him and restore the old colonial system.
So, what made Napoleon, usually such a strategic thinker, choose the riskier option?
Well, it all came down to this moment when Colonel Vincent arrived in Paris with Toussaint's constitution. Can you imagine? Here's Napoleon, master of Europe, and this former slave has the audacity to write his own constitution without permission.
Oh, wow. So his pride just couldn't handle that level of perceived disrespect?
Not at all. And what's really interesting is that Napoleon actually sent around 50,000 troops in total to Saint-Domingue, one of the largest military expeditions he ever launched across the Atlantic.
And these weren't just any troops. These were veterans of European campaigns, right? Battle hardened soldiers who thought they were heading for an easy victory.
Right, but they faced three enemies they couldn't beat: the Haitian resistance fighters, the tropical climate, and, most devastating of all, yellow fever. Historical records show that disease alone killed thousands within weeks of arrival.
You know what's remarkable? The Haitian forces under Toussaint, and later Dessalines, managed to defeat what was essentially the most powerful military force in Europe at the time.
And here's the kicker. Years later, during his exile on St. Helena, Napoleon admitted this was one of his greatest mistakes. He's quoted as saying he should have recognized Haitian autonomy and maintained diplomatic relations instead.
That must have been quite an admission from someone like Napoleon.
Absolutely unprecedented. And consider this. If Napoleon had chosen differently, both Haiti and France might have had completely different trajectories. Haiti might have maintained its position as one of the wealthiest territories in the Americas.
Instead, the War of Independence devastated Haiti's infrastructure and economy, while France lost its most profitable colony.
You know what really stands out to me? How this story perfectly illustrates the way personal pride can override practical considerations in leadership. Napoleon had all the information he needed to make the right choice.
And yet he let his ego drive him to a decision that ultimately cost both nations dearly.
Looking at modern international relations, we still see leaders making similar mistakes, choosing confrontation over cooperation, often at great cost to their nations.
So, what's the key lesson here for today's leaders?
Well, I'd say it's that maintaining influence through cooperation and respect often yields better results than trying to impose control through force. Napoleon learned this lesson too late, but his experience still resonates today.
And it's also a powerful reminder of how people fighting for their fundamental rights can overcome seemingly impossible odds.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Remember, sometimes the most powerful lessons in history come from understanding not just what happened, but why leaders made the choices they did, and what those choices cost them.